Hi, everyone. This is Coach Mo, and we are up for another Soul Powered Revolution podcast. And in this podcast, I'm going to keep it real simple because I cannot say enough the power that you have inside of you that is required in these times to stay centered in the midst of chaos. We usually have a fair amount of stuff swirling around in our lives, competing for our energy and our attention. It's part of life. And in your life, you likely have some significant areas that are pulling energy: work, kids, spouse, partner, family. Perhaps you have some health issues, or perhaps you have a priority to stay healthy. So that's a thing. Chores, errands, weekend stuff. If you have kids, it's their activities. So I get it. I was a working mom for many, many years, and I've been working since I was 12. So I know, as a lifelong worker and as a woman who went through a season of working mom, and the season after that, frankly, is aging parents. All the seasons of your life are going to have things that pull your attention away from your own sacred self. And the main ingredient that I teach and coach my clients is exactly the main ingredient that we all need in our life to keep ourselves centered in the midst of chaos. And that is to give yourself time every day. Morning is best, 10 minutes or 20. You can work your way up to be in a meditative state, optimizing, which means bringing down the excitability of your nervous system, optimizing your nervous system, bringing down the excitability, and training your brain to be under your control, and opening the gateway of your soul energy, your divinity, the true you, allowing that aspect of you to come alive and be present every single day. And what happens when you have that practice? You begin first to reduce the stress and strain of your nervous system on your body. And at some point, I wish I could measure it and tell you the exact measurement here. At some point, the nervous system comes down to a point where your soul now can start to peak out. It's like a bashful piece of you, your soul. Your soul wants to be strong and powerful and wants to be the driver of your life. But if you've been beating it down for decades, it's going to take a while, maybe a week, two, three. Most of our clients get significant improvement on not only their stress level, but on bringing their soul alive, having that life force energy come back, remembering and recalling who you are. If you're watching this podcast sort of live-ish, we have I have a mini program right now going on called the Soul Reset, where you can learn this exact technique. It's mofaul.com/soul reset. Very inexpensive program. You'll be introduced to the details more than I can cover on a podcast. And I'm going to give you the reasons why here on this podcast, because I want every human being to understand the value and the importance and the necessity of having a meditative practice. I don't care what religion you are, or if you don't have a religion, you have a nervous system. Every human being has a nervous system, and every human being has an energetic self that is part of who they are that you can't see and is not tangible. And when we die, we don't lose that piece by weight and volume. It's an energetic life force energy that is within all of us. And it is the essence also that beats your heart, digests your food, all of that stuff. It's running the body, and it is storing all of the stuff that you need to subconsciously navigate the world so you don't have to be thinking about everything you do. You don't have to think about your breathing. You don't have to think about picking up your phone and how to type something. You don't have to think about your life on a daily basis for the most part because every one of us are in default mode. Every one of us settles into giving our brain less work to do by memorizing and being in default mode of what we do in certain situations. And everyone who drives has had this experience driving a car where you are somewhere else in your brain and you drive yourself home. Or perhaps you're leaving work and you're driving yourself home, but maybe you go to the grocery store because subconsciously you're thinking about the grocery store. I know all of us who drive have had experiences where we are subconsciously driving our car because our mind, our conscious mind, is somewhere else. And oftentimes it's tired or checked out because we're so stressed out. Now, you're going to say to me, well, I have this when I'm on the cell phone too. Exactly. You have a major distraction. So your subconscious default system is helping you live life because your mind is somewhere else. And when you have a meditative daily practice, you're going to get into a situation where after the practice goes on and your nervous system comes down and your soul comes up, that your default mechanism is more from the soul basis of you rather than the nervous system basis of you. And what's going to happen in that process is that you're going to clean out the junk that's in there. Sometimes I refer to meditating as Windex for your soul. Spray, spray. Every day. Spray, spray. So if you cleaned your windows every single day with Windex, your windows would be pretty damn clean. You could see out of them. There would be no distortion. Sometimes the analogy is brushing and flossing. If you don't floss, if you don't get between the teeth, you're not fully getting it. So if you do something small or, oh, I read a passage every morning, Mo. Cool. Let's take it up a notch and let's do the flossing. Meditation is flossing for your soul. Yes, you can quote that and you can quote me on that. If you don't floss your soul or Windex it every single day, it gets dirty and it decays and you can no longer use it that well. So you have got to right now off of this podcast, find an avenue for a regular meditation practice. And if you say to me or you say to anyone else, I can't meditate because my mind just doesn't relax. I know your mind is a busy pinball machine, but we never expect in meditation for you to shut your mind down. If you've been told that, it's erroneous, especially when you're coming into the beginning or if you have unexpected or even expected stress times of your life, your nervous system is going to be a little bit more hyperactivated and you might not be able to have a perfect, great, wonderful meditation. But if you spend 10 to 20 minutes in a meditative state, you're bringing the load of your nervous system down. And that is the number one reason we meditate. When I was a 22, 23-year-old nurse, cardiac nurse, I taught patients stress management. And you know what stress management was? Meditation. We couldn't call it meditation because that was against the rules because, I don't know, people thought meditation was some other God, and it's not. It is learning how to control your nervous system, and it's allowing space for then your divine self, your sacred self to come alive, that life force energy to flow back up. Fill yourself back up with who you really are. That is how my clients manage and stay calm in chaos. That's how my clients remember who they are. That's how my clients maintain their soul powered self through life work demands, career shakeups, job loss. When you have a meditative practice, you always have the ability to get back in your power, no matter what's going on. So, for those of you who might have a prayer practice, that's cool. But here's the way I personally look at this. When you meditate, you're bringing your nervous system down and you're allowing your divinity to fill up. When you pray, you're exerting influence and energy and love external. So you're putting energy out. The meditation practice fills you up. So do a little bit of both. I do. I do a little bit of both. And then I teach my clients how to journal regularly in a way that enhances the meditative experience. Again, if you'd like to know more and have a little mini course, mofaul.com/soul reset, and you can jump in there and learn the details. And there's an opportunity for you to get an e-journal that you can download for a 30-day journaling exercise as well. All the tools in the toolkit. This is exactly a practice that every human being needs to understand and learn and do at least once a day. We are in chaotic times and they're not going back. So your ability to control the physical apparatus of your human existence so that your divinity, your sacred parts of you can be your livelihood and yourself, that's living better. That's going to give you more satisfaction and more guidance, and it's going to lead you to your best expression of your gifts and talents. That's what we're here for. We're here to express the gifts that we were given by our Creator to the greatest of our ability. And that means that you got to get the nervous system out of the way. Meditation is the best practice to do that. Now, I used to be a big runner. I'd run, but I would wake up, meditate, do a few yoga poses, and go running. So running is not exactly meditation, but it does metabolize some of the stress componentry. Nothing beats meditation. The research is out there. The data shows this is true. My clients know it's true. I know it's true. I've been meditating regularly, let's see, 22, 23, 40 some years. So this is an avenue for self-mastery. I suggest it for you and for all of your loved ones. If you're not interested in my soul reset, go on YouTube, go on Insight Timer. These are reasonably free access points where you can get some further ideas about meditating. It's not a religion. It's learning how to control your human physical body, which is necessary because if you're in reaction mode, if you're in stress mode, you're not going to be your best self. It's just not the way you want to be. So if you're listening here, please feel free to pop over to mofaul.com/soul reset for a little mini program. Get a meditative practice, whatever's going to work for you. Get going, get started now. Do it. Life is chaotic. I don't want you to be also. Here's to your soul and your soul power. This is Coach Mo. I'll see you on the next episode.